This is a true story that happened when I was in high school 18 years ago. Let's begin. So, before I begin, I have to introduce you to all the characters that were a part of the story. First, it was me, shy, introverted, never knew how to talk to any girl at all, even though I was in high school. And then I had two more friends. The way I met my friends, the first one name was Ali, and the other one's name was Ahmed. Now, Ali was the one who was a bit of a playboy streak that he had. So he would talk about all the flings and all the girls that he would talk to. Now, Ahmed was the other friend that I had. And the way I met these two people is because we would go together on a bus. So every day while going to the college, I would come into the bus, we would sit together, we would hang, we would chill out. And then when going back to home, we would sit in the same bus and then we would talk. Now, in the same bus, there was this one girl, and I remember her face. She was tiny, very petite, and she had a little bit Asian features. And I still remember her very, very vividly. And I had a crush on her. Now, you have to understand the environment at that time. Firstly, mingling between genders was not as open as it was right now, even in Pakistan. You didn't just go up to anyone and then started talking. It was considered weird and obscene and looked down upon. In that environment, how would you tell anyone, or how would you ask anyone that you have a crush on them? So for months and months on end, I would sit with my friends, and they knew that I had a crush on her. And we would talk, and then they would say, okay, you should go and talk to her now. And I would say, nah, no way. I remember this one day when it happened, actually. And I remember very, very vividly in my college, which was government college, and standing there, and my friend Ahmed, he comes up to me and he said, you know that the girl that you had a really big crush on, Ali has gone and talked to her. Like, he's hitting on her right now. And I was furious. I was mad. I was angry. And now, you have to understand that Ali had that reputation that he was the kind of a guy who did and who would go up to anyone and then would start talking or start hitting on anybody. So, what did I do? I ran up and I saw the girl was standing beside the bus, and I just ran up to her without thinking, and I didn't know what I would say. I didn't know what I would talk about before running up to her. And then I went up to her and then I said hi. And then she looked up to me, and there was like puzzlement, like her eyes was filled with like puzzle, like what the hell is this guy doing here? Like, what does he want? And in this moment, like this tiny moment, like all the creativity in me like came to this like this climax here. Like all the creativity that I ever had in my life came to this climax, and I blurted out this question. And I asked her, okay, so do you live in a hostel for girls specifically? Because my sister is also looking for an all girls hostel. Your hostel, that would be great. Full disclaimer, my sister was not looking for any hostel. I just made that up right there on the spot. Now, I was so stressed that I didn't even remember what she answered. I remember that her voice was really nice, and I went back to my friends, and strangely, my crush had gone. Like I didn't feel any attraction for her anymore, and this was weird. So I went back to my friends, and turned out that they had duped me because my friend Ali never went and talked to her. And I never was angry at them because they sort of manipulated me into talking to this person. But I kind of understood that maybe that was the only way that it could have done for me. But you know the weirdest part about this all? I didn't even have a crush on her later. Like, somehow, just talking to her once just let me get over. Like, weirdly. Because the image of her, or the idea that I had thought in my head looking from afar, was not the real she. That wasn't her. And just going up and then talking to her and listening to her voice and listening to her talk completely broke this idea that I had in my head and who she was, which was a fantasy anyway. So I got over it. But this taught me a very important lesson very, very recently. And it made me realize this, that a lot of times in life, positive motivation is not enough. Like, if you are working hard on your exams, if you are working hard on your business, if you are working hard on your YouTube channel, then positive motivation is not enough. Just getting money and spending it and thinking about how you would spend it is not enough. You have to think of the worst outcome as well. What would happen if you don't do it? Like, what would happen if you don't study for the exam? You would fail, and you would be like the laughing stock of your entire family. What happens if you don't continue with your YouTube journey? People will laugh at you. You will be filled with regret for your whole life, that you started this and then you just gave up on it, and the success could have been like just around the corner. Or you started a business and you gave up on it and you just slaved your life in a job, even though you had the potential to like benefit so many people and earn so much money. And then now the worst outcome is that you're at a job where you earn nothing close to your potential, and you're miserable and you're resentful. I think that is where true motivation really lies. It's in the negative outcomes, because you never really run towards a positive outcome, but you will always run from a negative outcome. So if you are working on your New Year resolutions, my recommendation is think about the benefit, but even more than that, think about the worst possible outcome that can happen if you don't do it. Like your little hell that can happen if you don't work on this right now. And I'm sure that you will have something to move towards and something to run away from, and that will be a much, much greater motivation. Thank you for listening to my nighttime stories, and please comment and tell me, how did you talk to your first ever crush? Bye bye.